The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the action figure toy news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interested you. A big week of toy news once again, as we're getting dangerously close to San Diego Comic-Con. So we're getting a lot of different exclusive announcements from a lot of different companies. We're going to touch on a few of those here today. Have to expect the next couple of weeks we'll see a lot more of that stuff as we ramp all the way up to one of the biggest cons in the world, I guess, with all things considered out there. So it should be a good time out there. We'll see what's going on. But let's dive into some of the news. But before we get to the news, let's do a little housekeeping. Of course, it is the month of June. It is Father's Day weekend. Shout out to all the fathers out there. Shout out to my dear old dad. Oh, dear old dad. On the channel all the time. You guys have seen my dad before. But happy Father's Day to my dad and all the dads out there. And of course, this month of June, we got a Patreon giveaway. Every single month we have a Patreon giveaway. Of course, thank you to everybody that supports me over there on the old Patreon and supports the channel and all that fun stuff. But we do got Elite Sami Zayn 102, and we got the old Brock Lesnar and his forklift. That is the June Patreon giveaway this month. So head over to Patreon, link in the description below. Check out the old Patreon channel, and you can enter to be a part of the giveaway if you are a member over there. So check that out, an announcement on the winner to come. But we got a big giveaway announcement here today. Of course, the 30,000 subscribers milestone. We finally hit that here on the channel. Thanks to everybody that's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure you get that done. But we do got the winner this month, or this month, I guess, for this giveaway, the 30,000 giveaway. But we do got, of course, Taya Valkyrie, Ray Phoenix. We got old Hoovy Juice, Juventud Guerrero, and we got Penta. So we got the Series 1 right there. We're going to give that away. And I got the winner right here off of the Twitter giveaway. It is Matt Drake. So congratulations, Matt Drake. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for subscribing, following along, and following all the rules. So Matt Drake, I will get these sent out to you ASAP. I'll reach out to you. I'll get your address, and we'll get those to you. So that's the giveaway here. Now let's dive into it. Let's dive into the news of the week, and let's start with some wrestling news like we always do. We got some news this week, and this came shortly after filming the toy news video last week, but we did get to see from Ringside Collectibles, of course. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. We did see AEW Unmatched Series 7. We saw some action figure glamour shots and some in-package glamour shots, and what we always say here on the channel, once we see those, it's just a couple of weeks away from shipping. So I would assume these will be here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll unbox these on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But we did see, of course, Penta and Ray Phoenix. You got to have the Lucha Brothers. Got to put them in the same set. We've had these many a times, getting the most out of your molds, but we got a different look there. But we also got Pac here. So we got Death Triangle. We're getting like the Bermuda Triangle, but it is the Death Triangle. So we have them all in the same series. You guys know me. I always like getting my teams, my factions, all together at once. That's what they're doing right here. So I'm here for that all day long. We also got Thunder Rosa and Hook. Now, both of these, of course, going to have regular releases. These will also have rare chase editions as well. So we'll see how that ends up going. Of course, that Hook figure is going to be very hard to get at first. A lot of people want Hook. Hook madness. Who'd have thunk it? But everybody loves Hook, the wrestler. Everybody loves Hook, the movie. What's going on? It's a weird world, 2023. But here we are. But we got Hook coming out in a chase and regular edition. Then we got Thunder Rosa as well. Thunder Rosa in her, of course, Striper gear. Huge Striper fan. We all know that about Thunder Rosa. She had to dress up in that get-up, so we do have that coming. And the interesting one, controversial one of the set is, of course, we continue on with these LJN-inspired figures, and we do have CM Punk. He looks like an absolute giant in the package. I think the proportions are kind of all over the place. I'm going to wait till I get it in hand, of course, to give it the thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. But it definitely looks a little bit suspect, at least in the glamour shots. But we'll see. I'm a Punk guy. I've always liked CM Punk. I'm excited, of course, tonight, if you're watching this as it drops, he will be back on AEW in the Collision TV show. We'll see how that one goes. I'll watch that this weekend. We'll see what happens there. But Punk's returning to the toy line. Punk's returning to TV. Is it the summer of Punk? Very well could be. Very well could be. So there's a little AEW news. But then, of course, not to be outdone, Boss Fight Studios. We just gave away a set. Well, we got another set coming. We got Series 2 coming. And Ultimo Dragon is a big part of that set. A lot of people are going to want this one. A lot of people that don't get the Boss Fight figures will just get Ultimo Dragon for their WCW shelf, something like that. Very, very well done looking at Ultimo Dragon in the package there. Very excited to get that one in the collection. Very excited, really. It's been way too long since we've had an Ultimo Dragon figure. We had, last one was Ruthless Aggression Jax, so it's been a heck of a long time. I'm here for that. And another one I absolutely cannot wait for, Black Taurus, of course, Impact Wrestling star. I see him every once in a while on Thursday nights on Impact. But I love this one. I love the looks of it. Hairy bipedal creature. You know, bulls are supposed to be on all fours. Not this bull. He's up on two. We got Black Taurus coming our way. Paraguayo coming. I believe Pero died in the ring. That was quite the tragedy many years ago, but we're getting him in an action figure form, if I'm not mistaken there. And then we got Vampiro. Maybe not the most iconic Vampiro look to people in North America, maybe. I don't know. You guys tell me, but it is an original look of Vampiro, and I guess you'd say his most successful look. So it's one of those kind of things that mess with your brain. A lot of people remember him from WCW, but a lot of people remember him from his Lucha time. So we do got those coming. Those are right around the corner. Once again, we got in-package images. That means they're coming soon. So I can't wait to unbox those on the channel. I already have those pre-ordered. More to come. More to come. How about a little FTC? Yes, FTC. Don't do a ton of FTC on the channel. We've done a few unboxings over the years, but that is a line I definitely dabble in. Of course, we know they're Jax Ruthless Aggression bodies, but they got Jax Deluxe Aggression arms on them, and a little bit too cartoony in the face for me, but they did announce, and we talked about it last week in the Toy News, their new figures. Well, the Major Pod group over there, Matt Cardona specifically, he picked up some of these figures, and he opened them up, and unfortunately, the quality control was very rough on these, as there was staining throughout on the figures, and then the decals were not painted on, they were just actual stickers. So the tight, it was just stickers on the tights. It wasn't painted in or anything like that. That's pretty rough if you ask me. So buyer beware there. If you're buying it to keep on card, to get autographs, something like that, or you're just an on-card collector, that might be the way to go. But man, there would be brutal days if I unbox that thing and staining, especially how expensive those figures are. Just not good. And they got some figures that I would like to buy, like the Brad Armstrong, the Mr. Hughes. I'd really like those. I just don't want them in that style. However, they did post on Twitter about these, and one of the comments they did say was they are coming out with a new style of figures that are going to fit with your Jazzwares and Mattel figures. So that's something to keep an eye on. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll talk about it when we get some news to report, but that could be a game changer if they can figure something out there. I would be all for that, because I think a lot of people are out from the get-go because they don't like the body style, they don't like the scaling style. They just say, nope, I don't want any part of these figures. But if they moved it to a Mattel or a AEW style, boy, I don't know. People might dabble. I know I would dabble at least in the first series, see what all the fuss is about, and go from there. So, interesting times. And I did talk about the Major Pod group a little bit. How about Super 7, Matt and Brian figures? It sounds like from them, they haven't heard a lot. So, I don't know what's going on with these figures. Will we see these in November? I really don't think so.
No, this didn't happen. No.
Before on the channel, I thought it'd be February, March at best. I don't know. We might not see them at all, as we did see a few different lines canceled from Super 7 this week. Some of the Disney lines, which, you know me, I'm not a Disney guy, so I'm not really surprised because I don't know anything about it. I don't even think I've ever seen a Disney cartoon movie in my life. Even when I was a very small child, I remember saying, this isn't for me. This is too cartoony. Where's the Joes? I need the Joes. I need the Cops and Crooks. I need the Turtles. I need Transformers. I need some action. I can't watch these cartoons that just are about getting along and things like that. No, that's not for me as a little kid. Not for me now either. But we did see some cancellation of some Super 7 figure lines. Could we see Matt and Brian? Could it meet the minimums? We'll see, as those are very expensive figures at $75 a pop. It'll be interesting to see if they can meet the minimum requirements and if those end up getting canceled or not. I guess more to come. Stay tuned once again on the channel here. How about this one? How about a little retro talk here? And now this week, and you'll see them tomorrow in the weekly purchases, I did get Grappler and Gimmicks, the old Hassel Toys figures of Smoke Train, the Godfather, and Tony Norris, Ahmed Johnson. I did get those figures. We will unbox them on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But Zombie Sailor, of course, he sees all this stuff going on with this Ahmed Mania, so he had to post more pictures of his Ahmed Johnson that's coming out. I don't know. Is there enough crossover where people want multiple Ahmed Johnsons? If I was Zombie Sailor, he's got so many good things coming. I would move Ahmed way to the back of the line. Wait 2-3 years once this Grappler and Gimmicks one's kind of forgotten about. It's all sold through. That's the perfect time to come out with an Ahmed Johnson. Who knows? The way Zombie goes from time to time, it could be years from now anyways. But I wouldn't push the Ahmed too hard. There's already an Ahmed out right now. You got plenty of other figures you can bring out. The one-man gang, let's get him a little faster. Let's get some of that kind of stuff. Let's get Slick out there. Let's get some of those. But we'll see what happens. But he did show off old Tony Norris. Uncle Tony, as Zombie calls him. And I guess he does come with the wedgie even. The patented Ahmed Johnson wedgie. That's detail, folks. That is some detail there. So Ahmed is coming. Then Friday morning, Figure Collections, they showed a picture of the Headbangers. So we do know the Headbangers just recently signed a WWE Legends deal. Obviously, this was done before that, so they'll get these figures out. But we should have some retro Headbanger figures. Hopefully going up for pre-order soon. Hopefully delivery soon. Nobody likes waiting for their figures, and I think a lot of collectors are getting a little burned out by some of these long wait times. I know I have been for quite some time, and we've talked about it a lot on the channel here. But we got Headbangers coming in more ways than one. So that's it for wrestling. Of course, a lot of news is slowing down a little bit outside of San Diego Comic-Con announcements because people are saving their news for San Diego Comic-Con weekend, and that makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I will be there on the floor in San Diego. I'll be reporting all the madness. We'll try to figure something out, some videos and things like that, maybe each day, or recap each day. We'll figure something out there. We always do, but I'm looking forward to a trip to old San Diego. How about moving on to another big announcement, big news this week? Of course, G.I. Joe June rails on. We love G.I. Joe here on the channel. Of course, G.I. Joe June even better because it is my birthday month. My birthday's a week away or so. Oh boy, getting excited. Can't wait to blow out those candles. Can't wait to see the gifts I get. I might not get any gifts, but I'll get some candles. I'll get some candles to blow out. We'll see what happens. But G.I. Joe Dragonfly this week finally hit 13,000 backers. Of course, what does that mean? We got the Ripcord unlockable Night Force Ripcord coming our way. Now they announced 16,000. That is the next tier we have to hit. And they did announce the figure Jane Glenda Mulligan. Now this is a deep, deep cut. Apparently she was an Argentina release back in the day. And if you go back to my Dragonfly original video, I said I got to imagine one of these characters is going to be a very deep cut, like the His Tank Technician we got last time. Because they're not going to throw name brand characters. They're not going to give you the General Hawk with this one. Because guess what? It is a business. We take that business step back. They would rather sell 50,000 General Hawks out there at traditional retail, Walmart, Target, you name it, and not have him caught up in a Dragonfly that's only going to have, let's say, 20,000 units or whatever. They want to save him for the big sale. So you're not going to get tippy-tip-top guys and gals in here. So this does make sense. This is one of those figures I can see easy reuse down the line. I bet you we get a Scarlet in this body with a new Scarlet head. I could see that happening all day long, so we'll see what happens with that one. But that is 16,000. A lot of people are kind of negative about it. Some people are turning around. When I first saw it announced, I was like, oh man, I kind of expected it, but I was a little disappointed. It's been growing on me a little bit because I understand the method of the madness. I do understand what they're trying to do, and this does fill out the ranks. And let's be honest, if she came to traditional retail, she would never sell. This is for the hardcore of hardcore G.I. Joe fans. It's a nice add-in here, but the big thing, the big question is that powerful enough to get this to 16,000? I guess we'll find out in the weeks to come. Of course, there's one more unlockable after that. This could slow the growth to that one. I don't know. We'll see, but no matter what, and no matter how you feel about it, it is still successful. We're getting the Dragonfly. They hit the first tier. There's a lot of good that came out of this, of course. It'll just be interesting how this thing finishes. We know it started off hot, but how's it going to finish? It's all about how you finish at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens with that one. So I'm here for it. I've come around to it. I've did some soul searching. I've come around to Glenda coming my way. So there you go. But then we did see some stuff this week. We saw Desert Snake Eyes, and once again, people are like, "What is this? Where's Blowtorch? Where's you name any character? Where are they?" Instead of this repaint Snake Eyes. But we always have to remember, it's all about getting the most out of your molds. Things like this pay for new technology elsewhere. They got to do that. That's Toy Business 101 going back before I was born. So we have to expect these things. Yes, we'd love a different character, more of a deep cut character, something else that's new, brand new, feels new and fresh. But this is the way it's going to go. And they even said on the live stream a little bit that, of course, they needed some help with Dusty. Dusty can't be the only desert guy out there. He's got to have some backup, and he's going to have some Snake Eyes with him, apparently. Then we got Tunnel Rat coming our way, and I love me some Tunnel Rat, of course, based off Larry Hama from the G.I. Joe world. I mean, one of the guys who created the entire G.I. Joe world, basically, for us. But Tunnel Rat was always a favorite of mine. Loved him in the G.I. Joe animated movie. Can't wait to get this Tunnel Rat figure. Very, very popular figure it will be. And then we did get an Amazon exclusive, which is very interesting. Of course, Hasbro Pulse shared exclusive. We did get the Cobra Eel Army Builder, and that thing sold out on Hasbro Pulse like that. I was in the middle of a meeting at the time, forgot all about it. I came 2 minutes late to Hasbro Pulse, already missed out on it. Luckily, Amazon did go up for order. I did order 2 of these. We'll see what happens down the line. I might army build these guys out a little bit. They needed somebody for Torpedo to fight, apparently. And the Cobra Eel, a very, very iconic figure from way back in the day as far as the water army builders go. So very exciting to see that one there. Now moving on to a few other things here, some miscellaneous stuff, and how about we turn our attention over to NECA. We talked about San Diego Comic-Con earlier. They did announce their convention exclusives will go up with limited amounts on June 21st, June 22nd, and June 23rd. Limited amounts. You'll, of course, get the Greta the Gremlin there. You'll get Kino from the Turtles movie. The Turtles 3-pack, which just got announced this week. Turtles 3-pack. Turtles 3 4-pack. How about that? We do got that in their samurai gear, so that was a big announcement. That's going to be there at San Diego Comic-Con. One I'm very excited about, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Glow-in-the-Dark edition. This kind of came out of left field, and it looks like we'll have this one before the traditional one, which is an interesting go-to-market strategy. But I'm here for it. I do have those other glow-in-the-dark figures. I will definitely be getting this one. Have to hit up my dad. I'm not sure if he's going to pull the trigger on this or not. I guess we'll find out there, but that'll be a part of the pre-order. And then, of course, convention-exclusive Alf, which is a popular one. I got to have that one as well. So I'm trying to play the game here. Do I just buy them when I'm in San Diego, or do I pre-order them? Because if you're there in San Diego, you get those things immediately. I come home the next week, I get to unbox all that kind of stuff. I get them right away. The excitement's there. Or you pre-order it, you save the hassle of having to wait in lines, you save the hassle of bringing them back home on the plane, all that kind of stuff. But the problem is you get them maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road. We'll just have to see what happens. We'll see how that all checks out. We'll have to do the math, and we'll have to check it twice. Maybe even some Scott Steiner math could possibly happen there. But if you're into those, you're not going to the convention, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, be on the NECA site. They will go fast. We do know that, but it's all luck. It's all gambling at the end of the day. So check that out if you're interested there. Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, Entertainment Earth put up some Blacklight exclusive McFarlane figures, I guess limited to 3,000 pieces. We got Scarecrow and the Joker. I was hemming and hawing about that Joker. I was like, well, I do need that Joker. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. And then it sold out. So I guess I don't need it, apparently. But Entertainment Earth did say they will be for sale at San Diego Comic-Con. So maybe I will be picking that one up. Maybe I will wait in line for that one come July. So stay tuned for that. More to come. But if you're into that, they're sold out on the Entertainment Earth website. And then we got another exclusive from Jada Toys. It is the Blueberry. So it's a little ghostly serial creature. We all remember him back in the day, I guess, depending on your age bracket. But that's an interesting one. Of course, I unboxed the Count Chocula and the Frankenberry last year on the channel. Absolutely love those figures. Absolutely sleeper figures. They were on top 10 list of the year for me. Absolutely do love those. Gonna buy this one as well to go with it. It is a convention exclusive, apparently glow in the dark, but I would expect a regular release down the road as well, so stay tuned for that. And speaking of Jada Toys, they did announce their second Street Fighter wave this week. Now, I'm one that said I'm passed on these. I passed on Series 1. Part of me wanted it. I always preferred Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter, but I played Street Fighter 1. I played Street Fighter 2. I was in the age bracket that was eating that up with a fork and a spoon. But I passed on the figures. You can't collect everything, and I like to dabble. I have Zangief in my collection. I have E Honda from Storm Collectibles, but I don't go too deep. But these, of course, a lot cheaper, around $25, and they really do look good. And this week they announced Ken, M. Bison, and Dhalsim. And Dhalsim was a favorite of mine. He was the guy that I'd always used to, I always felt cheap. And I had buddies that said, oh, you can't use him, he's cheap. Well, you just don't know how to defend against Dhalsim is the problem here. But he'd throw some fire, he'd stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms. Always a big fan of him. And the figure looks pretty cool. So I don't know what to do. I go back and forth. Devil and the Angel, we'll see what happens. But if you're into those Street Fighter figures, man, your time is now. Series 2 coming your way. Now we turn our attention over to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe this week. You guys know I love me some He-Man, one of my favorite lines of all time, and really, honestly, the first action figure line I really remember collecting. That and the original Star Wars were kind of the ones that started it all for me. But we did see Target this week with their Collector Con going on. We'll talk a lot about that in weekly purchases tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But we did see this week Whiplash, which I got, be part of weekly purchases. Whiplash and Slushhead did go up for a pre-order on Target's website, so if you're looking for those two, they are up. Slushhead, not totally iconic, of course, from that terrible, terrible New Adventures of He-Man cartoon back in the day, and toy line, I guess. But this one looks very good. I am very excited for this one. I'm not super familiar with the character, but I like all the options we have with this one, so more to come on that. And then we did see another Sunman 3-pack. Man, oh man, we still see that other 3-pack from over a year ago haunting the store shelves. Went to clearance numerous times, but I'm a fool. I pre-ordered this Sunman 3-pack. I could easily wait 6 months and buy this thing for more than half off, I am sure. But it is coming. It's Holographo, Zapman, and Kicto. So we're really building out that Sunman universe. I never thought I was a Sunman collector, but if you go in my room, I got a mint on card set and a loose set. People would say, man, you really love that Sunman, don't you, Kyle? I'm like, well, I guess I do. I guess I'm a true believer in the Sunman these days. But here we are, but another 3-pack coming. So if you're interested in those two items, head on over to Target, pick those ones up. Then we did see some glamour shots of the upcoming wave. We got a lot of He-Man stuff still rolling through. There's been a lot of stuff on the channel. We've done a ton of unboxings lately. Well, here's the next round that's coming our way. We got Serpent Claws Man-at-Arms, kind of defending against, of course, King Hiss and his tribe there. We do have him. We got Spikehor coming. That's an OG villain, as we all know. One I'm very excited about is Squeeze. Got the Dalsum effect a little bit. Got the long arms there. Can hug you, squeeze around you. That's going to be a very cool one in the origin style. Then we did get an army builder, the Snakeman Infiltrator. We got some of those in the old classics line back in the day. This is one of those ones you need 2, 3, maybe 4 of these in your collection loose. I know I do, but we did see those coming. We also saw Manny Faces, the mini comics version coming. I have that pre-ordered on Amazon. I think that's supposed to come in August. That's going to be deluxe, very similar to the Mattel Creation ones we've had in the past. So that'll be a very interesting figure. If you didn't have the old Manny Faces, you get another chance at it, I guess. Just a lot of repaint use going on with that one, of course. Then we saw Mondo Collectibles, and you guys know me. That's a dangerous, dangerous rabbit hole. I did unbox the Anti-Eternia He-Man Mondo exclusive. It was in weekly purchases last week. It's been on Patreon for a week. It'll be on traditional YouTube eventually. But like all the videos here on the channel, if you want to get way ahead of things and get some bonus content and all that kind of stuff, head on over to the old Patreon channel. Truly your best way to support the channel and all the madness, all the madness. But Mondo Skeletor, the OG Skeletor, it sounds like he's coming back out to retail. I think they said stay tuned for Friday, which if you're watching this when it drops, it is Saturday. They said Friday afternoon, but I filmed these on Friday, so I missed the announcement, but we'll probably talk about it next week in weekly purchases, or I should say next week in toy news of the week. But I'm anxious for it. I got He-Man, I got all this stuff. You got to have Skeletor. There's no doubt about it. So I guess we'll stay tuned. We'll stay tuned to see how that Skeletor is. Very excited for some of those Mondo figures. I'm all in on the Mondo He-Man, all in on the Mondo X-Men figures. It's getting pricey. It's getting pricey, folks. It's getting pricey. So there we had that. And then finishing off here before we get to Album of the Week, we've got some Marvel Legends, Space Venom and Mania. Mania, I do not know at all. Space Venom, of course, a prior Build-A-Figure from back in the day, which I do have in my collection. At least we get some new effect pieces. We get a new head. We can kind of make him feel a little bit different. So we do have that, and that's a pretty smart move, and it sounds like it's going to be a Target exclusive. I think that's the early word out of this one. But it is a smart move, of course, making people buy this, putting a new character with there, putting a little bit of extra change over. It's going to trick some people into buying another one there, and that's what it did to me. Hasbro, you got my money once again. There we go. But that's Marvel Legends news. Now, that's it. I'm looking, that's the toy news of the week, but we got Album of the Week here for this Father's Day weekend. And does it get better than this? Of course, Friday this week, new album day from the all-time greats, Lemmy and the Boys, Motorhead. Yes, Motorhead, my favorite band of all time. You guys know that. Anytime we get new Motorhead, man, I'm all in. This one is a live show from Montreux Jazz Festival. We've all heard of it, of course. It's not just for jazz anymore. We're bringing Motorhead and the Boys, and there's not a lot of jazz there either. I think it's like half jazz, half everything else, but it's a live album from 2017. One of the great tours of Motorhead back in the day. I think I saw that tour with Valiant Thor. And I want to say the Misfits and Motorhead on top. I want to say, and maybe Airborne opened before Valiant Thor. So that was quite the tour there. Saw that. My wife and I went to, I think, 2 shows on that tour. One of the great things about the set list for that tour, they're always great. They move some stuff around. But they were playing Rosalie, which was really cool. And, of course, a tribute to Phil and Thin Lizzy. But I don't know if Lemmy knew this, but that's originally like a Bob Seger song. But that's neither here nor there. Nobody cares about Bob Seger. Turn the page. Get away from here, Bob Seger. But Thin Lizzy is what they're playing tribute to. And you guys know I love me some Thin Lizzy as well. But it is a CD, DVD combo. Very cool to get some Motorhead. Even after they're gone, they got a lot of live shows they can put out, demos, things like that. Man, I'm here for it. I miss Motorhead so much. It's just a part of me and my music love really died with that. Every year I set my watch to multiple Motorhead shows, touring around, hanging out with the guys and gals out there and stuff. And it's just a piece of me has been missing ever since that left. So get to recapture at least a little piece of it for about an hour to listen to that show. So there you go. So we do have that. And then coming in hot on Friday, old Dolly Parton. Oh, Dolly getting after it. And I'm not the biggest Dolly Parton fan. I'm more of the Porter Wagner era Dolly Parton fan than the famous superstar Dolly Parton fan. But she did, of course, go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. What are we doing? What are we doing, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You can't put Lemmy, you can't put Dio, you can't put Motorhead, you can't put Iron Maiden in, but we can put Dolly Parton in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And she's deserving. I'm okay with it. But, man, there's so many bands that should be in there that are not. It is what it is. But Dolly Parton went in without ever having a rock and roll song in her career. Well, she said, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to make a rock and roll album. And it's going to be interesting. Reminds me a lot of like Pat Boone. I think he did that in like the 90s. It was very strange. Dolly getting a little bit of that going on as well. But on Friday, she did release a song from the album. And it was a duet with Rob Halford. Yes, we saw Rob and her duet at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I don't know if I've ever seen Rob Halford with a smile like that in his life. I know how big of a deal it probably is for him to sing with Dolly Parton, and then to get a duet on the album with her, oh boy, I listened to it. It's a song, it's called Bygones, and man, Dolly's voice to me feels very thin and frail. I mean, she's obviously up there in age, but man, Halford brings that bad boy home. He owns that song, and I could just see him smiling, grinning ear to ear out there. I'm sure he was just ecstatic to do this, and it's a big thing because as much as I love Judas Priest, Rob Halford, Dolly Parton is a big worldwide huge star. Not that Judas Priest isn't, but it's definitely going to touch Judas Priest to a brand new audience. Whether or not they'll cross over to go to the shows, buy the albums, we'll see what happens with that. But very cool. Worth a listen at least one time. I'm anxious to see where this Dolly album goes. It might be a guilty pleasure by the end of the year. We'll see what happens. But check that out, Bygones, and definitely buy that Motorhead album. Oh, baby, Motorhead for Father's Day. What more could you want? Father's Day this weekend. My birthday next weekend. Oh, just living the dream over here. Living the dream. Or the nightmare for some. It would be the nightmare if some people knew. But yeah, we're trying. We're trying to get that work-life balance going. We'll see what happens there. But there it is. There's the toy news of the week. Another action-packed week. Got to imagine things will slow down the next couple of weeks with San Diego Comic-Con around the corner and, of course, the 4th of July holiday. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you give this video the old thumbs up. The old Hacksaw Jim Duggan always helps the channel, as you guys know. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below what you were excited for toy news. What are you going to pick up out of this new stuff? Let me know in the comments down below, like I said. And don't forget about the Patreon for early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, pizza reviews, dog stuff, you name it. There's a heck of a lot going on over the old Patreon channel. Best of all, you do support the channel and all of its content. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the toy news of the week, I'm Kyle, and I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into the weekend.